Yeah,
Just
I'm
wondering how
good.
much it helps you guys. Not even I don't know if you're old enough to qualify for maintenance days, but how much it helps that they're rotating guys and everybody's kind of getting a day off here and there just to keep everybody healthy this time of year.
Yeah, I definitely think that's big. Obviously, it's already a long season, and if you do it right, it can be a really long season. And I think that our coach staff does a really good job of just taking care of guys. Understanding that. Just that the fact that it's a long season. Just playing it smart and understanding like when we need to get to work and when some guys need rest days.
The top of the receiving core seems so set because you guys have everybody back. Who's shown you something from the bottom half of that group so far?
Um, I mean, I don't necessarily even look at it as like, top and bottom half. I just, we have so many playmakers in the room, man. That, we've all been kind of like rotating in and out throughout camp and everybody's been stepping up and making plays. Tyler Johnson's been making a lot of plays. Scotty Miller's been making a lot of plays. Jalen's been doing a really good job too. He's really elusive, got a ton of speed, got some big hands. Really just like top to bottom. We got a lot of guys that can make a lot of plays.
Thanks, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll go to Rick Stroud.
Chris, you've always been a tough guy, but last year you probably pushed the limits there with your playing with broken fingers and all that you played. What did you learn about yourself, and how much does trainers or TB12 come into keeping you guys on the field and productive?
I think the entire, I guess, support staff that we have, they play a massive role in keeping guys on the field. Like it's not just us just like taking care of ourselves. Like obviously you have to do that, but you need that help, you need that support. And yeah, I mean last year was very challenging for me. But I did learn a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about perseverance, about patience. And it really just, I guess, gave me a much greater appreciation for the love that I have for the game. Because obviously when you're missing time and you physically can't do stuff, you just want to be back out there. So I'm looking forward to a great year. Looking forward to being on the field a lot. And yeah, man, it's exciting times.
Do you wonder what Antonio Brown came in here, no training camp, all that 8 games. Do you wonder what he'll do for your group if he has 17?
I think the sky's the limit, not just for him, but for the entire group, man. I'm sure he's excited to be here, to be in a training camp again. I think you guys are starting to see kind of like some of that. He's a showman and he likes to make plays. And so just like seeing him run around, he's still explosive, he can still run all day. It really helps having a guy like that with so much experience and that's so explosive. Like I said, sky's the limit for the group. I'm excited to see where we go.
Next, we'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Chris, your quarterback's celebrating an important milestone today. It's his 44th birthday. I know you're a younger player and he's surrounded by young guys like you. What kind of lessons can you take from watching a guy like him and apply to your own career with just his longevity and how long he's been able to do this?
I think the first thing really is just how well he's taking care of his body. I've obviously the last 2 decades he's had a great plan. But with his guys to keep him healthy and to keep him ready to go. And I think it's so impressive just seeing like how well he moves and for being 44 now, like that sounds so crazy to me, like that he's 44 years old. Cause I'm like, man, he's damn near 20 years older than me, but he still moves and acts as if he's like much younger. And that's very inspiring for a young guy like me. It shows like what happens when you just take care of your body, take care of your business, and keep the main thing.
Well, and also the thing that jumps out to me, and I don't know if you've seen this as well, but like the fact that he's been doing, he's played this game for so long, but it's like the love and the passion just continues to be there. Coach Arian said, his passion for this just still burns so bright. Can you just speak to that and what it's like seeing a guy that's done it for such a long time, just seemingly just jumping out of bed every day to keep doing this?
Yeah, I mean, BA hit it spot on. He's very fiery, very competitive. I think his drive to will to winning, I think is what keeps him going. Because obviously like at this point he's won 7 championships and it seems like he treats each one the same way. Like right after it's done, he's on to the next and trying to figure out how he can be better. And I think just like from my perspective, I'm like that competitive edge, that competition element of it is so crucial. You have to want to get up, have something that's driving you to get up out of bed and go. And he's been doing it for so long. man, it's very impressive. 20 years in this thing is not an easy thing to do. And for him to have the energy that he does now, it speaks volumes to not only the way that he prepares himself and keeps track of his body and maintains his body, but, just his competitive drive.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Steve Isbitz.
Chris, how is training camp different with Antonio Brown on and off the field? You mentioned a little while ago that his locker is alongside yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely different. It's a different like energy, when you have, as many like all pro guys as we have, and then just like players that I guess playmakers in general. The competition raises, the expectation level raises, but it's also more fun. Like we get to talk shop. I try to pick his brain, as much as I can. It's about some of his experiences and the things that he has success with. Like he's a master at sideline catches. Like they call him Tony Took That for a reason. And so like little stuff like that, try to pick his brain on like his mentality and his approach and stuff like that. And he's been so great, not only like with myself, but with like a bunch of the younger guys in terms of, helping and just, giving us little tidbits here and there. But I would say overall like competition level and, just us pushing each other is probably the biggest difference.
And among the cornerbacks that you're facing, obviously you've seen most of them before, but any one guy just catch your eye a little bit like, oh, looks like he got a little better this year?
Not one guy, but I think, our three, I guess, I don't know, like our starters seem to be in a much better place. Like starting off in a much better place to like confidence wise. I think last year, like they were viewed as just being like young guys, trying to prove themselves. And I think that all of the things that they went through throughout the course of last season showed that they were not only, talented, but like they're ready for the moment. And they stepped up really, really big for us in the postseason. And that confidence is carrying over to this season, and like, you can tell it, with CD, you can tell it with Sean, with Dean, Antoine's been moving around fast, Jay White's doing a great job. Mike Edwards, like we got a bunch of really young guys that are getting after it and, and they're not afraid to compete. They're not afraid to get after and push each other.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go back to Rick Stroud.
Chris, you have some of the best hands in football, and yet there was a moment last year, I think, where maybe, I don't know, as a postseason, you might have fought yourself a little bit. What did it mean that Tom kept coming back to you, and how did you get yourself out of that where you made those big plays in Green Bay?
Yeah, I mean, it meant a lot. It spoke to, how much he trusts me. That like even in, in a down moment or like in like a little slump, he's like, man, like you're one of my guys. I'm gonna keep going to you because I know that you'll make the play. And then just like for me personally, just fighting and digging, pulling myself like out of that little hole. It's what you have to do. It's about holding yourself accountable. It's about perseverance. It's about pulling yourself up and getting ready for the team. Because at the end of the day, I just want to be there to make plays for my team and be accountable. And be a reliable guy for them. So to be able to make those plays in Green Bay, that helped send us, to the Super Bowl. Man, that meant the world to me, and that's something I'm going to forever cherish. And those moments throughout the playoffs are ones that are going to help me continue to grow as a player.
Next, we'll go to JC Allen.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned maintenance days. You missed 2 practices earlier in camp. Were those maintenance days, or there's something more to it?
No, that was just like maintenance stuff. There's nothing to that. I don't know if y'all saw that day, but I caught a little screen was sliding a little bit. I'm about to go talk trash to Scotty a little bit. I think I might be a little faster than him though.
Oh, we might have to have a race later in camp. But also just the offense in general. We heard that Tom didn't get the full playbook down, and now that you've had a full off season together and worked on it a little bit at Tom's camp. And now in training camp, how do you guys feel like the offense and the playbook and everything is down and moving into the regular season, you guys will be able to perform?
I think it should just like start us off like in a much better place. Like last year, we spent the whole like first portion of the year learning each other and figuring each other out since we didn't have a regular off season. And I think as we progressed towards the end of the year, we started to kind of piece things together and figure out who we were as an offense and like the plays that we like to run. And so like now, you know, it allows us to start off in a better place. And like while we have the same guys, back, it's a new year, it's a new team. So it's not like we just like put the ball down and go out and pick up exactly where we left off. Like we still have to work on our chemistry, we still have to improve on our communication, and you know, and continue to grow in those ways. And I think Tom having a better grasp of the offense, as well as the rest of us having a better grasp of how he likes to operate, is going to help us moving forward. And, you know, earlier on, like in the season.
Last question will come from Joey Knight.
Chris, Coach Arians said today that his confidence in Blaine Gabbert is off the charts. Just what's your impression of the way he's been throwing the ball in camp?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you know, that's pretty accurate. You know, Blaine's a great athlete. You know, he's a great guy. You know, and he throws a really good ball. You know, I think in terms of what he brings to our team, you know, I think the possibilities are endless. You know, just because of what he can do, and you know, just if that ever pops up for us, you know, I'm more than confident in his ability to come in and execute.
And what do you see yourself doing at age 44?
Man, that's a great question. I think if I'm still playing ball at 44, I think I would be just as surprised as everyone else. I don't know how Tom does it, but you know, hopefully I'm somewhere playing with my kids or something.